Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this round of the Giulietta TCR series. We're at Knockhill this weekend. Unfortunately, we are without McRae for the moment. He can't make it tonight, unfortunately, so he's stuck with me, who is currently having some technical issues, as you can see by the fact that we have the wrong graphics up. Here's a nice Formula Alpha car for you. Unfortunately, caused technical issues, meaning that I can't quite get into the server just for the moment. I can watch qualifying as via a new fancy timing screen here, where I can just see Geiss Rohrbeck has in fact damaged his car with a crash with the environment, as the timing system put it. That's quite polite, I think. Yeah, I can see qualifying is happening, but unfortunately I'm having a couple of issues at the moment. I'm going to try and get them resolved before the end of quali so I can get some on-track action. And as you can see, folks, still having a couple of issues getting into the actual server for the moment, unfortunately. We will get those resolved before the race starts, hopefully. But just to give you a quick update on how the qualifying session is going at the moment. Luke Wiggins is doing a very good job around very tight and twisty circuit. I love Knockhill. It's very technical. Got huge undulations leading up through the last corner, down onto the start-finish straight, of course. Luke Wiggins was running very well in practice, actually, from what I saw. I believe he topped the timing sheets and is still doing quite well in this qualifying session at the moment. He's currently third and not too far off the competition. As you can see, he's pretty much matched Andrew Whitehead's time and is not that far behind Colin Keneef's time either. So we could have an exciting battle for pole position here. Colin Keneef taking pole position 2/10 ahead of Andrew Whitehead and Luke Wiggins there. Nothing from Matt Daly at the moment. I feel that we may have a repeat of the previous qualifying session where he had to sweep in last minute and was able to take second place, if I remember correctly. He did a very good job of putting in one decent lap, and that seemed to do the trick for him, and he took a win. So we'll try and get this issue resolved shortly, but hopefully you can enjoy at least a part of qualifying while we try and get this resolved. Fortunately, we're still not in the session yet, but as you can see, a feature that I love of this timing screen is I can get a decisive view on crashes there, as we can see Rob Whitney and Andrew Whitehead having a bit of a coming together, and we can see where it's damaged on the cars. It's like we're in the session, really. I've got more insight than I usually do. So yeah, that's a really neat part that I like. Colin Keneath is still on pole at the moment. Andrew Whitehead has got achingly close, within 400ths of Colin Keneath's time, so he got some real competition this time round. Still no sight of Matt Daly as of yet. Luke Wiggins has remained kind of at that 52-second mark, so Andrew Whitehead's been able to find something extra on him for now, but we do have just over 5 minutes of qualifying remaining. If we can't get into the session in qualifying, it'll be worth trying again with some tweak settings that I tried earlier. It'll be worth trying again for the race when the server restarts if I can't get in within the next 5 minutes or so. See, Andrew Whitehead has just finished his outlap and will now be on his fast lap. A little bit of traffic down that back straight there. Colin Keneath is leading the pack. Will Harper is very close to Andrew Whitehead. It'll be interesting to see whether or not that impedes Will Harper. And it looks like Andrew Whitehead's had a big off, and indeed, pardon me, that's Rob Whitney. I was looking at the wrong initials, but nevertheless, he had a 17-mile-an-hour impact with the environment again. Very polite way of saying big crash. But yeah, as you can see him going off there. It's quite an odd one, this, really. It's not the commentary box I was expecting, really. The virtual commentary box is usually looking a little bit different, but there's nothing to do for now until I can get this issue solved. So Barry Clayton has had an off there. Don't think he's had an impact. I think he will just have to find a gap in which he can safely rejoin the track. It's a very tight battle at the moment between Barry Clayton and Will Harper. I imagine Barry Clayton will be hoping to find a couple of attempts to secure 7th position for him, hopefully move up the grid a little bit as well, who will be wanting. Thinking that may actually just be an issue with our timing screen there, unless Barry Clayton has stopped for a picnic. I wouldn't blame him, to be honest. It's an unusually lovely day there at Knockhill. As you can see on the timing screen, 25 degrees ambient temperature. I think not. As we are approaching the summer, I still don't think it's going to be that warm there. 35 degree track temps means that the drivers are going to have to consider their front lefts towards the end of the lap. We can see there as Colin Keneath goes out for another lap. He has, in fact, just improved on his pole time, secured pole a little bit more. Maybe we're coming into the final few minutes of the session now, and there isn't much, still not much separating the top three, but gaps have grown a little bit. Luke Wiggins has just tried to improve, but unfortunately doesn't, and still sees himself in the 52s. He's going to want to try and push for the high 51s if he has a hope of pole position, as I could see on the time screen. I'm finding this quite funny, actually. It's interesting to see the dots just kind of slowly drift off the screen as we see Barry Clayton having another crash with the environment. As long as it crashes with the environment and not crashes with other cars, I imagine people won't mind them too much. Colin Keneath is trying to improve there, however he does set a 51.7, so no big security gap for him really on the top spot at the moment. However, he's got a few minutes left, and the beauty of this being such a short circuit is you can probably fit at least a couple of quick laps in that. Probably actually the right size car for the right size tyres. We see Luke Wiggins having an off and heavily impacting his front bumper there. A 30 mile an hour impact, so the gravel trap working hard there to get him stopped safely. But a fairly good mix of car to track size ratio, I think. They're not too overpowerful for this track, but at the same time they're not reading a book on the straights. So it's a nice little technical circuit that should bring some good challenges for the drivers. See, Colin Knief looked like he just pushed a little bit wide there. And well, I have determined the issue as to why I cannot join the server. Someone has stolen my car. I'm glad I'm on the timing screen now, because as you can see, there is you, by you I mean me, someone's in the camera car. Someone has stolen the bloody car. I hope you gave it a good warm-up, because that thing has not turned a lap in anger, ever. And it's out there at Knockhill at the moment, going full chat. Who else got my car? Can I see who's got my car? I don't think I can. I might struggle to make that one out, but I hope they're looking after it. I mean, we just kind of sit in it, really, and commentate from computers anyway, you know. As a race car, it doesn't do much. But, yeah, it's an odd one. That will explain why I can't get in. Someone has, in fact, stolen my car. Hopefully, I will get that resolved quickly now, before the race. At least we know what the issue is now. Yeah, let's get that one sorted before the race. We've got a few minutes break coming to the end of this quali session. See Luke Wiggins having another slower lap than would have wanted there in the 53s, owing to a mistake, I imagine, which means he's still not quite scratching anything out of that time to challenge Andrew Whitehead. I think will be his aim if he can in the final minute of this session now. Got a fairly tight pack actually. We have times ranging from the high 51s to the low 55s, so, and that seems to be a bit of an anomaly, to be honest. So it's kind of everyone's within 2 seconds of each other, so we could be on for a good race. Hopefully, if I can get into the session. So see Barry Clayton having another off there. Is it going to tell us that we've had a crash with the environment? It won't, I don't think. I think he got it stopped just in time, or very slowly had an crash with the environment. We've got a bit of traffic on the last corner now, as everyone is dashing out to get their final quick laps in. These will be the last laps of the session now. It's interesting, if you look at the grid, in fact, everyone's kind of very evenly spread out, really. Up until about P7, Barry Clayton and Will Harper, who have posted pretty much the same time. Everyone's about 2 tenths apart. It'd be interesting to see how those dynamics carry on. Heading towards the end of qualifying and into the race now. We are finished in terms of timing and quali now, so now we're just waiting for people to come across the line. Rob Whitney with a 53.4, his previous best, will be hoping to improve from 10th position. I think we may have a little bit of lag on the timing system as I cross the line there. I think it's Greg Young who has my car. In which case, Greg Young, give me my car back, please. As we can see, people are beginning to leave the session now, so this may affect the order ever so slightly. I believe there's a bit of lag on this timing screen, unfortunately, which is to be expected. Colin Knief secures pole there with a 51.6, but very close behind is Andrew Whitehead with a 51.7. Less than a tenth, oh sorry, just over a tenth separating. No, less than a tenth, pardon me, my terrible maths there. Just separating them. Luke Wiggins, again, has improved, in fact, and gotten into the high 51s. Unfortunately, he stays in the same position, but nevertheless, a very good effort from the top three there. Very tight battle, which we'll be looking forward to coming up shortly in the race now. Very close grid this time around. Looking forward to it. We'll be back in just a moment, ready for race one of this doubleheader. Hopefully with technical issues resolved, and we will be back with the action shortly.